Joining me now is our go-to guy when it comes to space, professor of astronautical engineering at USC, former NASA astronaut, former top guy at SpaceX, Garrett Resiman. Welcome back to The Story Is.
It's great to be here. I wasn't the top guy. You know who that was.
Well, I know, but we're going to give you some credit. He's got $1 trillion. He'll be okay.
Yeah, he'll be right.
Let's talk about what's going on here. Why a moon base? Why does this even matter?
Why not? Moon base is awesome. So I think the big picture, obviously, it's the next logical step in exploring space. We will learn a lot that will help us when we eventually go to Mars. This is viewed by NASA as a stepping stone on the way to Mars. And I believe it's really valuable because one of the things that we don't know about sending humans out beyond low Earth orbit, where I was on the space station and the space shuttle, is the radiation environment. We don't know what that does to the human body. We know it's out there, but we don't know exactly how that affects us. If we go to Mars, right, if we just went tomorrow, it would take 2.5 years to go there and come back. And so we're committing to that when we leave, and with no ability to turn this thing around and come home early, right? If you go to the moon, you could go for a month, you can go for 2 months, you can go for 6 months, you can go for a year, and we could incrementally do this in a more safe and measured way and learn a lot that would help us know really what those risks are for going to Mars.
I mean, what would you do on a moon base? Is it kind of like the International Space Station in terms of what you do, or how would it be different?
In some ways, the biggest difference is you have some gravity. You have about 1/6 of the Earth's gravity up there on the moon. So the nice thing is you could put things down. Right?
Okay.
And they'll stay there. You don't get to do that on the International Space Station. You could separate water and air, which is a very hard thing to do with zero gravity. So there's big advantages to having just a little bit of gravity. And the other interesting thing is we don't know if, for example, if you have 1/6 of the gravity, do you get 1/6 of the benefit of having a full Earth's gravity? Or do you get 80% of the benefit? We don't know if that's linear, if it's nonlinear. So there's a lot we don't know that we'll learn by being there on what's going to be our new moon base.
Do you think that this timing to do this is realistic?
It's aggressive. It's SpaceX-y, I would say, in the sense that we always set extremely aggressive schedules.
Which sometimes didn't get done.
Quite often, yeah.
And that's also true of other Elon Musk products.
But
then also he changes the world and deserves credit for that.
True. So the thing is that if you set a kind of a realistic or like a comfortable schedule to get to where you want to go, you're definitely not going to get there, right?
Yeah.
But if you set something very aggressive, you might not make it, but you'll hopefully make it not that much later.
So there's two reasons for the aggressive schedule, or part of the two reasons. One, President Trump would like to have people land on the moon before 2029 when he leaves office.
Right.
The other is China, who say that they're going to land on the moon in 2030.
Right.
Talk about what they're doing in terms of the space race, and are they trying to do a moon base as well?
You know, they are moving much more methodically, much more systematically, and have been for a long time. So they've been building up the building blocks to get to the moon, very similar to what we did during the Apollo program. You know, we are taking very different approaches. We've been changing directions. We've been changing vehicles, changing the name of the program. So we've been moving more in fits and starts. It's a bit of the tortoise and the hare kind of a thing. But on the other hand, we've been leveraging something that they don't have, which is this private, this private investment, private commercial approach to doing this. This new approach and leveraging that private sector.
Right.
And I think that hopefully will give us the edge.
Some of that also seems to be like the difference in personality between Trump and Xi as well. When you think about it, the way they do things are also the way the countries. Quickly, to wrap things up, part of that private approach today, NASA announced all these private companies that they're working with on this. One of them is Astrolab.
That's right.
Which are your buddies that are doing this. We've got a picture of you there. Talk to us about what we're looking at here, other than your beautiful head.
Yeah, I didn't have to wear the hat.
Yeah.
So what we're looking at there is, first of all, the CEO, Jared Matthews, and then the program manager, John Murator. But more importantly, behind us is the FLIP rover. So this is a prototype lunar rover that's going to launch near the end of this year. As part of the announcement today, as part of the CLIPS program. It's going to travel on a spacecraft to the lunar surface, get off and move around. And the thing about it is all those components, even though that's a relatively small rover, they are the exact same components, the wheels, the motors, a lot of the sensors, the actuators. They are the same ones that are going to go on the big lunar LTV, the lunar rover that's going to carry people. And that's what was announced today, that both that both Astrolab and Lunar Outpost, a company out of Colorado, were selected with contracts of about $180 million to deliver full-size rovers in this phase 1 that will be autonomous, and also eventually somebody's going to get to drive them. I wish it were me. Unfortunately, it's not going to be.
Maybe one day. There's still time. Yeah. All right, Garrett, great to see you. Thank you so much.